MK Dons 0, Barrow 0. Let's jump into some reactions, shall we? Now, I feel like there are positives and negatives which we can take from today, really. We kept a clean sheet today. It's our first clean sheet in 3 and our second in 8. Well, second in 4 technically, but also our second in 8. And it's always nice to come away from a game where we haven't conceded any goals. And I really genuinely do hope that Craig McGillivray and the defence can take some much needed confidence from today going into the last 5 games. I feel like confidence is definitely going to be key now as we head into the most pivotal point of the season. And to be honest, you could even argue that today's point may actually be a point gained. You know, it was a very late show at Salford City where they beat Notts County 2-1 at the very death. And, you know, the results today see us now move 2 points clear of Notts County and obviously Salford City as well now, who've now moved on points with Notts County, and we still say 4 points clear of Swindon Town following their draw yesterday and our draw today. And yeah, who knows, it could turn out to be a very vital point indeed. Time shall tell, but if you can't win, make sure that we don't lose, and we definitely were able to do that today. Saying that though, if we were winning, you know, at least 1 or 2 of our last 3 games, I feel like we could be title contenders again, given Bromley's recent form. And if we just hadn't entered into this difficult run where we've taken 1 point from our last 3 games and we'd continue to win, the title would definitely be ours to lose. And yeah, that just is what it is really. The main point for me, I guess, is to get automatic promotion, and I feel like most of you guys will feel the same way. Now, saying all of this, while I thought the defence played well, I don't really feel like Craig McGillivray really had many saves to make. You know, Barrow only had 5 shots, and, you know, in contrast, we had 16 shots, more than 3 times as many shots. And, you know, I do feel like one team turned up not to lose and possibly hit us on the counter-attack, and they were successful in doing so, certainly not losing. And another team, who was obviously MK Dons, we turned up with the intention of winning today. Now, when that happens, you really do have to make the most of your chances in this situation, especially when you're going to have a lot more of them. But today we just couldn't seem to score. I feel like we really went for it, but we just couldn't hit the back of the net. And, you know, don't get me wrong, Paul Warren has done an absolutely amazing job since he's taken over towards the end of last season. You know, there's no doubt in my mind. You know, if you think about it, just under a year ago we were losing 3-0 at home to Barrow, right? And today we sit in the automatic promotion places with automatic promotion still in our hands, and it's a far better position than the lowly 19th position which we finished in last season. So let's give credit where it's due. He's done a really good job. But saying that, I want us to be more clinical and more confident again. I feel like we're lacking confidence right now, and I feel like that's been evident in the fact that both we're taking our chances and actually making a successful cross. We're struggling to do that right now. Over the last couple of weeks, it has not been easy watching us trying to cross the ball. And we just need to sort it out, really. We need to sort it out. We need to sort it out right now, because this can't really continue, can it? And we also need to, you know, feel more confident in front of goal again, because we tried, but it just wasn't going in. And something needs to be done sooner rather than later if we are to go up automatically. I don't want us to throw it away now, and I know you guys don't either. You know, I want to talk about Aaron Collins now. You know, when he came back from his small injury, I know he wasn't out for long, I feel like he played really well since. I feel like he was absolutely nothing short of brilliant, to be honest, and he really compensated for the fact that we didn't have Callum Patterson available. But that was up until the Barnet game, and I just feel like, you know, he has lacked a bit of confidence since then. You know, we saw it with the fact that he didn't take the penalty, and it's just not been the same Aaron Collins since the Barnet game. I just haven't seen the same player, and I don't know why that is, but he's not the same Aaron Collins scoring goals like he was beforehand, and I don't know what has to be done in order for this to change, but Paul will need, you know, he's got a big problem on his hands here, because Aaron Collins is clearly a good player, but he's not playing to that level that we saw him play recently, and I just don't know what's going on, really. You know, he's he's not playing with the same level of confidence and freedom, if you like, and I hope we can see him begin to do that again on Monday going onwards. I also want to talk about Callum Paterson as well. I think everybody would agree that it was so nice to see him coming back into the starting 11 again. The first time in 48 days that he's played a game for us since the Newport County game, where he went down injured, obviously after the penalty miss. And I think it's also fair to say that we also felt very, very relieved when we found out that his clash with the Barrow goalkeeper wasn't too serious at all, and he was able to get back on his feet and play again. I don't know about you guys, but I did worry that he'd have to be taken off, and I was just praying that it didn't happen, and thankfully it didn't. But yeah, like Aaron Collins, I do feel like Callum Paterson did lack a bit of confidence. Maybe that was to be expected with the fact that he had a lengthy period off injured. It was obviously nearly 7 weeks, and hopefully he's just having to get back into it again. And after today, he can regain his confidence and go back to being the Callum Paterson that has torn many teams apart and that we've all had the joy of watching score many goals throughout the season. I am hopeful of that, but we just didn't really see that Callum Paterson today, but maybe that was to be expected, who knows. I'm hoping it's to be that, and he'll be back to normal on Monday going onwards. But yeah, I just I've talked about Aaron Collins and Callum Paterson, but I just feel like as a whole, attacking wise, even though we had our chances, we just did lack confidence as a whole, really. I feel like the only players who didn't really lack much confidence today were Nathaniel Mendez-Lang when he came on, and Aaron Domain when he came on as well. I just feel like those two played well today. I feel like Nathaniel, he brought some real energy coming on, and I feel like that was what we were looking for in the game, really. And I also feel like Aaron Domain, he brought on some much improved passing quality, and yeah, I'm going to say it right now. I really do hope both start on Monday. I feel like Nathaniel Mendez-Lang has definitely recovered from his injury, which obviously he had to have surgery on. He was out for a few months, but I feel like he's recovered now, and I feel like he's ready to, get back to the starting 11 now. And I just feel like with him playing a full 90 minutes, or certainly playing the majority of the game, we have a much improved chance of scoring a goal, and that's exactly what we need to do now. We haven't done it for the last couple of games. We've tried, but it just hasn't happened. And I feel like if I'm Paul Bourne, I'm going to look at that cameo today, look at what he did and how he made things happen, and just really put him to the starting 11 now, because I feel like he could be our missing piece. I feel like he could be the one to break our duck of not scoring in the last couple of games, and hopefully that just takes one goal and then we're back on our way again. I really do hope that, and yeah, I just think it comes from Nathaniel Mendez-Lang, to be honest. And yeah, I also want to see Aaron Domain start. John Millis has got his strengths, but Aaron Domain, I just feel like he's a better player, a better crosser, a better passer, and I just feel like it's better to play him in place of John Millis right now. I don't feel good saying that, but I just feel like he's just the right player to play, and just feel like he can also make some good things happen. I just feel like we have to really sort our act out really now against Oldham Athletic on Monday. It's not going to be easy, because after today's win against Colchester United, Oldham have actually won 6 of the last 7. Obviously that includes a recent 5-game winning run, and they've actually won 9 of their last 11 league games now. They kept 8 clean sheets in that run, and they're banging on the door of the playoffs with, I think, a game in hand. I have to look again at the league table, but they're going to be up for this, and we need to make sure we're up for it too. We need to do basically what we did in the FA Cup, where we beat them 3-1. We need to show that character again. We need to show that grit and determination, and really dig deep now, because, as I've said before, it's crunch time. It's do or die. We've worked so hard to get into the position that we're in now, and we can't afford to throw it all away. But it's not, it's not going to be easy. We have to dig deep and really get into that extra gear now. We need to find it from somewhere. We need to start going back to winning ways ASAP, because we can't keep relying on results to go our way. It's not always going to keep happening like this, and if we got overtaken now, I feel even if we do win with the other team, whoever overtakes us, with their momentum, it could be then that no matter how well we play, we end up just going back to the playoffs and having to go through the lottery of that again. And to be honest, after what happened 2 years ago and what's happened every time MK Dons have been in the playoffs, I think it's fair to say none of us want that to happen. So whatever happens, we need to find a secret missing ingredient from somewhere and get back to winning ways. You know, we were recently on a 14-game unbeaten run where we won 10 of those games, so it's doable. It's time to do it, really. You know, like I say, with the immediate 14th below, it's all chasing automatic promotion. It's do or die. It's crunch time. Hopefully, today's a step in the right direction, and all we need to do is start winning games again. Anyway, guys, that wraps it up for today. If you have enjoyed what you've seen, or if you've agreed with what I've said, and you haven't already done so, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and to share the video. It helps me out so much, more than you'll ever know. You know, I already do mean that. And you know, for those who are watching up to this point, I know this is a really long video compared to some of the other ones that I've done. I just want to say a big thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's really appreciated. Hopefully, in 3 days' time, when I'm doing a review of the Oldham Athletic game, we're celebrating a much needed 3 points, and we'll be on our way to getting automatic promotion back to League One. Thanks again for watching. Keep the faith. Thank you so much. Come on, you Dons.